You feel it before you think it. Two options in front of you, both tight, both wrong. Say yes, you betray yourself. Say no, you risk conflict. Your jaw locks, your tongue presses against your teeth. You tell yourself there's no clean move, so you choose the quieter loss. Afterward, you sit alone, replaying it. What you should have said. What you almost said. Here's the truth you avoid. The trap didn't begin at the decision. It began when you agreed to operate inside someone else's frame. 4 signs you're inside a no-win agreement. You over-explain your boundaries. You accept urgency that isn't yours. You soften your position before it's challenged. You feel relief after choosing, but smaller. That's not bad luck. That's structure. This is Philo Throne. We turn philosophy into self-mastery. Today, we dismantle the no-win choice you secretly agreed to, and why it keeps repeating in your relationships, your work, your status, your identity. A no-win choice is rarely about the options. It's about the frame. Someone else defines the terrain. You debate inside it. Jean-Paul Sartre called this bad faith. Not deception, self-deception. You say, I had no choice, but rewind. Before the pressure, before the decision. The first interruption you let slide. The first urgency you absorbed. The first false assumption you allowed to stand. Your shoulders dropped. You smiled instead of correcting it. That was the agreement. The choice came after. No-win dynamics survive because they feel safer than clarity. Clarity risks friction. Friction risks isolation. So you choose containment. You call it maturity. Look closer. You are trading authority for acceptance. When someone says, we need you to either commit fully or step aside, you accept the binary. You don't question the premise. You don't redefine the terms. You negotiate inside the cage. Then you resent the bars. Watch the micro behavior. Your thumb hovers over a message before you send it. You delete the sentence that states your actual preference. You rephrase it into something softer. You tell yourself it's strategic. It's self-protection. But self-protection, repeated, becomes self-erasure. Every time you remove your true position to preserve calm, you reinforce a hierarchy where you rank second, and hierarchies solidify fast. The no-win choice usually presents like this. Option A, comply and feel small. Option B, resist and be labeled difficult. You don't fear the outcome, you fear the label. So you choose smallness. Not because you're weak, because you're conditioned. Conditioned by early environments where safety came from minimizing disruption. Family systems where disagreement meant distance. Schools where questioning authority meant punishment. Workplaces where visibility without alignment meant exclusion. Your nervous system learned something precise. Survival equals compliance. Now you call that personality. Here's what this really is. A contract, not signed, repeated. Every time you choose relief over alignment. Relief feels productive, mature, strategic. But later, at night, your body disagrees. That low hum in your chest, the replay, the sentence you swallowed. You call it not worth it. Your nervous system calls it betrayal. And each next time arrives with less leverage than before. You benefit from the no-win dynamic. That's the part you resist. You avoid immediate rejection. You avoid confrontation. You avoid standing alone. The cost is delayed. Delayed costs are easy to ignore, but they accumulate. Self-trust weakens. Boundaries blur. Others test you earlier. Not consciously, energetically. People read what you tolerate, and they adjust. Every interaction updates something invisible, an access ledger. Who gets your time? Who gets your flexibility? Who gets to pressure you? When you comply under strain, you increase their access. When you pause and redefine, you restrict it. Most people think respect is emotional. It's structural, and structure is recorded in the ledger. 5 questions. Answer yes or no. Do you accept options you disagree with because arguing feels draining? Do you hesitate before stating your real position? Do you replay conversations where you kept the peace? Do you resent people who overlook you? Do you feel relief after choosing, followed by contraction? 3 or more yes answers means this isn't situational. It's structural. And structure requires interruption. Here's the reframe. The no-win choice is not the problem. Your cooperation is. That sounds harsh, but it's leverage. If you helped build it, you can dismantle it. The first break is simple. Refuse urgency. When presented with a false binary, say, "I need time to think." Notice your pulse quicken. Notice the fear of being seen as resistant. That reaction is the real prison, not the options. The trap survives on speed, pressure, urgency. Forced immediacy. You rush, and rushing shrinks perception. Every time you react automatically, you issue a reaction receipt. You show others how much pressure it takes to move you, how fast you fold, how quickly you explain, how easily you absorb tension. Once that receipt is printed, the price of manipulating you drops. Slow responses erase receipts. Controlled tempo rewrites them. When you slow down, the frame starts to crack. Silence appears. Options expand. Power returns the moment you control tempo. Not louder, slower. Stop. If this pattern has followed you for years, it's not situational. It's architectural. Different people, different rooms, same contraction in your chest. That means the environment isn't the common denominator. You are. And that's not accusation. That's leverage. If the pattern travels with you, so does the power to end it. From here forward, we're not diagnosing. Correction. We're dismantling. There are 3 layers to the no-win agreement. Layer 1, framing. Someone defines your available moves. Layer 2, internal panic. You fear the relational cost of resistance. Layer 3, self-justification. You convince yourself it's strategic. Layer 3 is the most dangerous because it feels intelligent. You call it calculated. But calculation without self-respect becomes self-sabotage. There's another layer most people never examine, the identity reward. You get to see yourself as reasonable, flexible, low maintenance. You become the stable one, the mature one, the one who doesn't make things difficult. That identity feels clean, but watch the cost. Every time you swallow friction, your nervous system pairs silence with virtue. Your chest tightens. You nod anyway. Now your body associates contraction with goodness. That is how self-erasure becomes moral code. And once something feels moral, you defend it. You defend your own minimization. You judge people who are direct. You call them aggressive. You tell yourself, you're above that. But you're not above it. You're avoiding it. There is a difference. You can feel it in the split second before you speak. That pause, that internal negotiation. Is this worth it? The real question underneath, will this cost me belonging? Belonging is the hidden currency of the no-win trap. You fear losing it more than you fear losing leverage. So you choose belonging. Then you resent the imbalance. Notice how subtle this becomes in close relationships. Someone crosses a line lightly. You laugh it off. Later, you replay it in the shower. Water hitting your shoulders. Your jaw tightening again. You tell yourself you'll correct it next time. But next time arrives layered on silence. Correction becomes heavier, so you delay again. The pattern compounds. This is how resentment forms without confrontation. It doesn't explode, it accumulates. You start withdrawing effort, responding slower, giving less. You call it detachment. It's unspoken anger. And unspoken anger is evidence of a contract never renegotiated. Here's what makes it worse. The longer you operate inside the false binary, the more your perception narrows. You stop seeing third options. You stop imagining structural change. You only scan for the lesser loss. That scanning habit shrinks creativity. It shrinks leadership. It shrinks self-image. Because leaders don't choose the least damaging option. They redesign the frame. And redesign requires exposure. Exposure of preference. Exposure of disagreement. Exposure of standard. That exposure feels dangerous only because you trained yourself to avoid it, not because it is fatal. Look at the last 5 decisions where you felt cornered. Not the outcomes, the moments before them. Did you ask for more information? Did you introduce a different proposal? Did you pause long enough to disrupt momentum? Or did you accelerate toward relief? Relief is the addiction. You crave the moment tension drops, even if it drops because you surrendered. That's the dependency. You are addicted to psychological closure. And closure achieved through self-betrayal trains your brain to seek smaller arenas, smaller expectations, smaller voice, smaller demands. Over time, you become easy to work with and invisible. The no-win choice is not about 2 bad options. It's about the habit of collapsing your own expansion. It's about choosing contraction to preserve comfort. You think sovereignty is dominance. It's not. It's internal non-negotiation. Non-negotiation about core alignment. When you feel that tightening in your chest again, pause there. That sensation is not weakness. It is the exact moment identity is being decided. Do you override it, or do you investigate it? The no-win dynamic survives only when you override. When you slow down and examine the tension, something shifts. You realize the fear isn't about the decision. It's about visibility. Being seen disagreeing. Being seen standing firm. Being seen uninterested in the given frame. Visibility feels like threat because you equate it with rejection. But invisibility is the greater threat. Invisibility erodes presence. Presence builds leverage. And leverage dissolves false binaries before they harden. This is not about becoming combative. It's about becoming internally solid. Solid enough that you don't rush to relieve pressure by shrinking. Solid enough that you let silence exist. Solid enough that when the next no-win frame appears, you recognize it instantly. Not at the decision, at the agreement. Watch the moment someone says, "So, are you in or not?" Your stomach tightens. You scan for approval cues. You answer quickly. Speed is the giveaway. Authority moves slower. You don't lack options. You lack tolerance for tension. And tension is the gateway to sovereignty. Marcus Aurelius wrote that you have power over your mind, not outside events. That line is often misused as passive acceptance. It's not passive, it's direction. You control how you engage, including whether you accept the premise. If the premise is flawed, your move is not compliance or rebellion. It's redefinition. Here's a practical shift. Instead of choosing A or B, ask, what problem are we solving? That question shifts you from reactive to structural. It interrupts emotional pressure. It exposes assumption. Often, the binary collapses under scrutiny because it was never absolute. It was convenient. Watch for these this week. You apologize before stating preference. You answer too fast. You smile while disagreeing. You soften what was clear in your head. You accept changes without pause. You explain boundaries instead of stating them. You feel smaller after agreement. None of this looks dramatic. That's why it's dangerous. Erosion is quiet. You think the no-win trap is external. It's not. It's internal permission. You granted access, not maliciously, strategically, for survival. Now, survival is no longer the goal. Authority is. And authority requires friction tolerance. Authority begins in one place, the sovereign mind. A sovereign mind does not rush to relieve tension. It does not outsource its frame. It does not negotiate core alignment for ease. It decides how it interprets pressure. That decision shapes hierarchy. If your mind collapses under urgency, your position follows. If your mind stays steady, the frame bends instead. Correction. Here's how you retrain it. Next time pressure appears, delay. Let silence stretch. Then state one preference, clean, no cushioning. Then question the frame itself. Small moves, but they interrupt the reflex. Your body will spike. Let it. That spike is recalibration. Expect discomfort, dry mouth, silence in the room, raised eyebrows. Do not rush to repair it. Discomfort is not danger. It is hierarchy reset. You are not trapped. You are practiced. Practiced at minimizing yourself to preserve connection. Connection built on contraction becomes resentment. Connection built on clarity becomes respect. Choose your structure. You already see the pattern. That's the dangerous stage. Recognition without reconstruction becomes guilt. Guilt changes nothing. Structure does. Right now, your body still reacts to tension like threat. Someone challenges you. Your throat tightens. Your heart accelerates. You scan for damage. That reaction is old. It was trained. But here's what matters. Training can be reversed. Not by speeches, by behavior. Let's dismantle the illusion. You think the no-win dynamic is about unfair people. It isn't. It's about your tolerance for ambiguity. Most people panic when the social temperature drops. Silence in the room, a delayed reply, a raised eyebrow. Your mind fills the gap. They're upset. I pushed too far. I need to smooth this. You move to repair, not because something broke, because you can't tolerate uncertainty. That is the lever others pull. Machiavelli understood this. Power is not force. It's perception stability. If your reactions are predictable, you are governable. If your need for harmony overrides your standard, you are manageable. The no-win trap survives because you are predictable under pressure. You choose connection over clarity, so the frame adjusts accordingly. Change the predictability. The structure collapses. Here's where Nietzsche becomes useful. He described herd morality, approval disguised as virtue. Look at your decisions. How many are calibrated around not being misread? How many are designed to avoid the label difficult? When approval becomes the metric, sovereignty dissolves. You begin editing yourself in real time. Micro-cuts, micro-adjustments, micro-silences. Each one feels small, until the accumulation changes your posture. Watch your body in the next disagreement, not the argument, the contraction, the tightening behind your ribs, the urge to clarify excessively, the speed in your voice. That speed is submission. Authority moves slower. When you slow your tempo deliberately, something shifts. You regain internal ground. Others feel it immediately. Let's go into intimacy. This is where the contract hides. Someone you care about says something careless. You detect it instantly. A flicker. Heat rises in your face. But you dismiss it. It's not worth it. That sentence has cost you more than you admit. Every dismissed correction compounds. Resentment forms not from one offense, but from repetition. Jung called it the shadow, the parts of you disowned to preserve an image. Your shadow fills with unspoken truth, and shadow leaks through tone, through withdrawal, through passive resistance. You think you're preserving harmony. You're storing volatility. Now, ambition. In professional spaces, the no-win frame appears as urgency. Can you handle this or not? Notice the phrasing. It implies weakness if you hesitate. So you rush. You accept scope without redefining terms. You absorb workload without renegotiating leverage. Then you feel used. But you signaled elasticity. Elastic boundaries invite expansion. Correction. Separate tension from danger. Next time silence follows your boundary, do nothing. Do not fill it. Let it breathe. Your nervous system will flare. Let it flare. This is recalibration. Step 2. Redefine before responding. When presented with two options, introduce a third. I see it differently. That sentence alone fractures binaries. Step 3. Remove the apology reflex. If you state a preference, end the sentence there. Do not cushion it. No explanation unless asked. Watch how your body resists this. That resistance is the old contract dissolving. You fear that if you stop cooperating, you will lose connection. Sometimes you will. That's the unspoken truth. But connection built on contraction was never stable. It required your reduction. You weren't connected. You were tolerated. There's a difference. And once you feel it, you won't unfeel it. There's something else you must confront. You confuse intensity with instability. When someone holds their ground calmly, it unsettles you. Not because it's aggressive, because it's unmoved. You're used to environments where movement equals safety. Someone pushes, you adjust. They soften, you relax. That dance feels familiar. But watch what happens when you stop adjusting. The room recalibrates. Silence stretches longer. Eye contact holds. And you feel exposed. Exposure is not weakness. It is visibility without collapse. Most people never reach this stage because they panic inside it. They rush to ease tension. They insert humor. They over-explain. They withdraw their point. You must stay. Nietzsche's idea of self-overcoming was never about becoming louder. It was about enduring internal discomfort without retreating to a smaller self. Right now, your smaller version negotiates safety through compliance. Your expanded version negotiates respect through steadiness. The difference is not volume, it's tolerance. Look at leadership structures. Real authority rarely argues. It states. Then it waits. That waiting is intolerable to someone addicted to approval, because waiting risks disapproval. But here's the recalibration. Disapproval is information, not annihilation. When you stop treating it as existential threat, your nervous system slows. Your voice slows. Your posture stabilizes. Machiavelli understood this. Perceived firmness shapes behavior more than force ever could. If pressure doesn't accelerate you, less pressure is applied. Pressure intensifies only where it works. You've been rewarding pressure with compliance. Remove the reward. Watch the pattern change. There's another illusion operating quietly.
You believe that if you don't resolve tension immediately, it will spiral. So you intervene early. You mediate, you smooth, you preempt conflict before it forms. That habit makes you indispensable inside unstable systems. But it traps you there. Because the system never stabilizes. You do. And stabilization without authority drains you. You feel responsible for the emotional climate. That responsibility is self-assigned. And responsibility without structural power creates chronic resentment. Notice the moment someone else is uncomfortable. Do you rush to regulate it? Do you modify your tone, soften your stance, offer reassurance you don't mean? That is the agreement renewing itself. Jung called this identification with the persona, the mask that keeps you acceptable. The tighter you grip it, the larger the shadow grows beneath it. Your shadow wants to say no. Your shadow wants to set standards. Your shadow wants to disrupt imbalance, but you suppress it. And suppression returns indirectly, through sarcasm, through withdrawal, through quiet superiority. You start judging the people you accommodate. That split is exhausting, because you're performing cooperation while feeling resistance. Integration requires one move: alignment. Let your external behavior match your internal signals sooner. Not explosively, not dramatically, sooner. The next time you feel contraction, respond in the moment. Not days later, not after resentment matures. Within the moment, even if it's small. That doesn't work for me. Short, clean, unemotional. Your body will surge with adrenaline. Let it. That surge is recalibration. You're teaching your nervous system that disagreement does not equal exile. The first few times will feel unstable. You may overcorrect. That's normal. Adjustment follows practice. But if you retreat at the first discomfort, the old architecture returns. This is why sovereignty is rare. Not because it's complex, because most people refuse the temporary loneliness of realignment. When you stop cooperating with no-win frames, some dynamics dissolve. Some relationships were built on your elasticity. When elasticity disappears, so does the dynamic. Do not call that failure. Call it filtration. You are no longer available for structures that require your reduction. That is growth. And growth rearranges environments. You want respect. Respect follows predictability of standard. If your standard bends under pressure, respect declines. If your standard holds calmly under pressure, respect accumulates. Slowly, silently, but permanent. The no-win trap collapses the moment you accept one truth. You are allowed to redefine the game, not with hostility, with steadiness. And steadiness is built through repeated exposure to tension without surrender. Epictetus said you are disturbed not by events, but by your judgments about them. Applied correctly, it means this: you are not threatened by disagreement. You are threatened by the meaning you assign to it. If I disagree, I'll be rejected. Test that belief. Don't theorize, test it. Introduce one firm boundary this week. Observe the reaction. Not your imagined outcome, the real one. Most of the time, the world adjusts faster than you expect, because confidence matters less than consistency. Here's the deeper layer. You equated being agreeable with being valuable. That equation shaped your personality. But value built on accommodation is unstable. It demands constant proof. Value built on clarity stabilizes, because it is anchored within. The shift feels brutal at first. Fewer immediate smiles,
more neutral expressions, longer pauses. That is recalibration. Reinforce it across the week. Delay one automatic yes. Let one silence stretch. Correct one small misread. Decline one request. Clean. State one preference without softening. Not perfectly, repeatedly. Respect builds through consistency, not intensity. There will be backlash from your own mind. You're being too rigid. You're overcorrecting. This isn't worth tension. That voice is old survival logic. It kept you safe once. It no longer serves growth. Growth feels like social risk, but stagnation is the real threat. Here's the paradox. The moment you stop accepting no-win frames, options multiply. Creativity requires stability. When you stop managing perception, your mind sees structure. You ask better questions. You negotiate differently. You withdraw strategically, not resentfully. People feel the shift.
Not because you dominate, because you no longer collapse. The no-win choice was never about intelligence. You are intelligent. That's why you rationalized it so well. It was about tolerance. Tolerance for friction. Tolerance for being misunderstood. Tolerance for not repairing immediately. Build that tolerance, and the trap dissolves. Go back to the last moment you felt cornered. Not the decision, the first contraction. Where did you edit yourself? Where did you choose comfort over clarity? That is the entry point. Sovereignty does not return at the loud refusal. It returns at the quiet refusal to shrink. It returns when the sovereign mind closes the access ledger and stops issuing reaction receipts. Stay with that. Don't rush to improve. Stability first, then expansion. Subscribe if you intend to build psychological sovereignty deliberately. You were never trapped. You were compliant under pressure. That ends when you stop negotiating your ground